Nick, we know that a lot of products come from the native forests.
Products, Andrew, many and various.
Some are obvious, some are not so obvious.
The one we're looking at today is one you probably drive past thousands of times every day. It is the ubiquitous power pole. And we're on a power pole fact-finding mission.
I spy something starting with PP.
Power pole.
Yes.
If you live in a state which uses wooden power poles like Tasmania, it's a fair bet you've given them little thought. But the fact is they come from our native forests and are a high-value item.
All right, so life as a power pole, Nick, would you believe, starts right here in the bush.
That's exactly right, Hardy. Every one that you drive past on the side of the road began its life as one of these, a young and pretty straight tree.
That's the first thing you need to look for if you're wanting to be a power pole.
Yep.
You need to be gun barrel straight.
Yes, but there are some other things that you also need to be.
Power poles are best grown in native forest because they grow slower, so they're more dense. They need to be nice and straight, free of limbs, and yeah, need a nice, up to about a 15-metre length to get a nice power pole out of it.
It's in the contractor's best interest to find power poles as they attract a high dollar. So in each coop they search the bush for what might make the grade.
It goes on by how straight it is in the bush. It's got to be a certain size, 3 metres from the butt, because that's crucial for when they put the hydro pole into the ground. So it's just, more or less goes on how straight it is and the size of it. Get these few here, will we? Good. Yeah. A couple more over here, might be able to get when we get through it all. Nice pole.
Once felled, it's taken to the landing, measured up and cut to size.
Right, so once the pole is cut to length, Nick, it's time to debark it, and that's interesting in itself.
Well, look, it is. It's interesting to watch a big, heavy machine like that being so gentle. You can't damage the sapwood, which is directly underneath the bark. So they use actually a piece of wood to rub the bark off the log.
Look, it's cute. He's just being gentle.
Yeah, so gentle.
Patting the log gently.
It comes off beautifully.
It does. It comes off well.
From the bush, the poles are taken to a company such as Copper's Log, who grade each pole, let them season in the yard for up to 8 months before treating. Generally, the poles range in size from 9 to 15 metres in length. So there are poles and there are poles. There are sort of long ones and fat ones, and they're all sort of load rated to do different jobs.
That's right, Nick. These ones are waiting to be treated. A treated pole will last for over 40 years. If you don't treat them, you'll only sort of get 15 out of them.
The only thing we can treat on the pole is actually the sap band. So the outer, I suppose you'd call it 20 or 25 mil of the pole is the sapwood on the pole, and that's all we can penetrate with our preservative. The rest is just too dense.
Treatment involves this big cylinder which uses a vacuum to suck the air out of the timber before flooding it with preservative. The result, a pole which will last for decades.
We supply around about 4,300 statewide to Aurora each year, and that's just for upgrading existing infrastructure and for new work as well.
Power poles are just another example of a product which come from our native forests. They can't be grown in plantations because they need the density and strength that only come from a slow growth rate in native bush. In Tasmania, Aurora uses around 4,300 power poles a year, all of which, once treated, will last up to 40 years.
Yeah, something to consider when you are driving down the road ignoring power poles.
Exactly right. It's another eco-friendly, carbon-neutral product from our forests.
That is our show for today. Thanks as ever for watching. Here's a look at what we've got coming up next time. We head to the National Capital and Parliament House for a bit of special species timber spotting. Check out the fledgling National Arboretum.
Talk to some boffins in the bush on the hot topic of carbon and check the result of one of Australia's longest running water quality studies.